Hello, my name is Megan. I am doing my Beyond the Text about George Kelly and personal construct theory. And so, personal construct theory is it's basically saying how we all have different constructs of the earth, our world, our worldview. We all have different perspectives on how we see the world and how we see things. Perspective is the way individuals see the world when it comes to their personal points of view and is shaped by life experiences, values, their current state of mind, the assumptions they bring to a situation, and a whole lot of other things. Here we have some fun memes just kind of showing how one situation can have such different perspectives. So where do we get our perspectives? Well, this neuroscientist says our worldview forms during childhood as a result of our socialization within a particular cultural context. Our views get reinforced over time by the social groups we keep, the media we consume, and even the way which our brains are wired. And so here I have just a very extensive list of different things that people can go through that could possibly change their perspective. Religion, things where you've won, different music that you've listened to, different peers that you've had in your life, times that you felt embarrassed, times that you felt fear, times you felt betrayed, pride in things that you've done, stories that you've been told about money, sex, and power, times you've felt hardship, how much money you had growing up, how much money you have as an adult. All of these things can play a part into how we see the world. So one thing also is even though we may have a situation happen to us, some things don't bother us and some things do. And I'd like to kind of share a story that I heard that I really enjoyed and kind of put this into perspective for me is imagine your phone were to ring right now and you would answer it and it's someone you don't know. And they say, "Oh, hello, I'm just calling to let you know I'm never going to call you again." You'd be like, "Okay, cool." But then on the other hand, imagine that the phone rings and it's someone you love so much, someone who's very, very dear to you. And they were to say, "Hello, I'm just calling to let you know I'm never going to call you again." Oh, that one hurts. You feel that one. So there's a much different intensity to how we feel about different things, depending on how personal it is to us or why it's personal to us or how big the situation was in our life or how much fear it brought to us or how much joy it brought to us will give us a different intensity. So not only do we have different points of views, we have different points of intensity with those points of views. Here we have two of the learning styles that we have talked about in class, but this is more just to kind of talk about how we can be conditioned into different contexts or perceptions or ideas. For example, here's a few things that kind of came to mind for me, but when you see a mouse, what comes to mind for you? For me, terror. Mice scare me. I had a bad situation with a mouse when I was little. I went to the bathroom in the middle of the night, got up to flush the toilet, and there was a mouse in there fighting for his life. And ever since then, my heart, if I see a mouse, my heart just goes. So I have a situation that I kind of was conditioned into. Cheating. This one's kind of funny because I'll be like, "Oh, I don't really, cheating doesn't bother me." People are like, "What?" I'm like, "Well, I mean, I don't want anyone to cheat on me. I don't want to cheat on anyone. I don't want that to be a thing in my life. But since I don't have any personal experience with it, it doesn't zing me like it does other people. Like I'm against it, but I don't have a big, strong attachment to it." And I put dads in there. I feel like this is a really good one because there's as many points of views and perceptions about dads as there are people. If you were to get a room of people together and be like, "Okay, when you say it, say dad, tell me what you think, tell me what you think, tell me what you think." You'll have some people, "Oh, I love my dad," or "Oh, my dad's the best," or "Grief, my dad passed away," or "Oh my gosh, I feel so much guilt and shame when I think of my dad." And people who didn't have dads growing up, "I don't have a dad, I'm bitter and I'm mad." So and here's a few other things, but I don't have time to go through them all. But yeah, I think that, everyone has such unique perspectives on the same things. And one thing Kelly says that I love, love, love about his theory is how when we see different points of view of things, our perceptions can change, our views can change, and that's okay. It's part part of being human. So Stephen Covey has a story, and this is kind of about the changing of perception. He was on a subway once, and a dad walks in who just kind of seems like he could care less, and his kids are wild. They're jumping around, they're bumping into people, they're screaming, they're yelling, and the dad is just sitting there like he could care less. And you can see everyone on the subway starting to get kind of annoyed. And so Stephen Covey leans over to the man, and I don't remember exactly what he said, but something along the lines of, well, your kids seem to be hyper or everything, trying to just kind of get this dad to like realize he needs to start taking care of these kids. Well, the dad looks at him and says, oh, yeah, I guess they are being kind of wild. We just left the hospital. My wife just passed away. And Stephen Covey said that hit him so hard because all of a sudden it went from this dad who could care less and these wild kids to this dad who is in shock and these kids who just lost their mom. And just how quickly that changes this point of view on what he thinks he's seen, and how important it is for us to remember to look past what we think things are, so we can be better at understanding the full context of the situation and why someone might be acting the way they act. So this quote says, the only true discovery would not be to visit strange lands, but to possess other eyes, to behold the universe through eyes of another. Just reinstating how we all have such different points of view that just hopping into someone else's head could be like a totally different land because they've been through so many different experiences, so they have such different points of view. So I really enjoy this topic, and it's something that I've thought about quite a bit, something that I've tried to teach my children. And when I meet new people or there's something that's kind of feeling off to me or something weird, I try and look at perspective and think, well, why would they be acting this way, instead of judging them or holding something against them. So it's kind of fun to have a minute to talk about this. So that is everything. Thank you.